Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about anxiety. I know a lot of you started following me after the pandemic, especially because my first anxiety video was making its rounds. A couple of years later, I've seen new comments under my anxiety video during the pandemic, and just letting you guys know, basically it's okay to struggle with mental health issues. So during the pandemic, that's when my mental health really declined. Like a lot of us, right? So with that being said, and then working a job that I already had issues with and dealt with a lot of trauma at my hospital that I was working with as a nurse, it really had me declining downward, and I had to go to the hospital for panic attacks and all types of things. So I wanted to talk about it because I felt like not only one, was it an outlet for me to speak about it out loud, but it also was like to help other people, especially women that look like me, who grew up in a household where mental health was not prioritized. And I say prioritized because when I would say things, my parents would be like, well, you live a great life, you have a better life than I had, I give you this, we give you that. And they really thought by buying me things and being able to be in certain things because they had the money for it, or me growing up in a nicer neighborhood than them, I shouldn't struggle. And that was so far off and so far gone that I was like, it just got worse and worse. And as I went to nursing school, it started getting worse. I have a hard time focusing on things because I have ADHD as well. And this is not me just making things up. Like, this is me going to the doctor, complaining about all my chief symptoms, and them diagnosing me with it. Went to therapy all throughout the pandemic and set boundaries. I set boundaries. I have medication that I do not take every day because I do not like the way it makes me feel, which a lot of people with mental health suffer from this. So I had to learn new coping mechanisms. So fast forward to today, December 2nd is today right now, but it's not uploading until later, 2022. I have suffered so much this year. And when I say so much, so that a lot of you have met me from that video and never seen any recent videos really from this year because I took a break from YouTube. I was not showing up on social media as much as I used to because I had to give myself what I needed. I know I'm young, and it's like this whole, you're young, you need to hustle while you're young. But the truth of the matter is, some people may feel that way because of their upbringing is. But if you don't focus on healing your childhood traumas, any type of toxicity that you had in your life, any type of traumas that you had in your life, it is going to come like a thief in the night, and it's going to affect you later on in your adulthood. So with that being said, I suffered a lot this year because I no longer have a therapist. I have to find a new one. My outlets have not really been an outlet because I don't go to my husband for everything, because I'm starting to realize that my anxiety is making him anxious because he doesn't know what to do. Not necessarily our spouse's job to be our therapist, but being there for you, listening to you, trying to console and help you as best as they can and being there is more than enough, right? And learning your significant other's triggers and things that scare them. Because just because you feel that it's not that serious, if it scares them and it's a trauma for them and a trigger for them and you're doing it, you become part of the problem. So that's what I had to speak to my husband about. My husband's driving is not the best. He's from New York, and I really hate the way he drives sometimes. We got into an accident this year, and it was raining outside. When it rains already, I am very cautious. I'm a very cautious driver. Not any accidents that I have had that were my fault. They were always at the fault 100% from someone else. I typically always get hit when I'm sitting at a freaking red light or a stop sign, not moving at all. So with that being said, I'm a very cautious person. I did defensive driving growing up, and I've seen videos, and the type of person I am is that if I see it, it only takes one time to be like, that ain't gonna be me. I gotta work on it. Not gonna happen. So when it rains really bad, I typically drive slower. So I told my husband to slow down, and he was like, he got this, just like men do. And he didn't slow down. And we hydroplaned, and we had one of those where the car was turning, like a wipeout almost. And I remember seeing the car literally, because we was up on a trestle type of thing. And in Dallas and Fort Worth, it's not high. The thing, like, so overpass are not high. The boundary for the overpass is like you can stand and still maybe be up here to me, right? So it looked like we was gonna go over. So all I could do, I didn't scream, I didn't do nothing. I went in a state of shock. I was holding on to dear life, and all I could do was pray and say, God, please not now. My babies need me. I need to be here. Please not now. Please not now. And there was other cars on the road. It was at 4:30 in the morning. And by the grace of God, we did not go over. We did not hit it forward, like straight forward like that. We hit it the car ended up turning again, and the bumper hit the boundary or border, and it brought us back into the lane. My husband was able to align the car, and then we just kept driving slowly. He never pulled over. I started, right after I realized we were okay, I started screaming over and over and over again, screaming and crying. I was having a panic attack. He had to calm me down, and I had to take medication when I got home, which was my Zoloft, Serotine, 15 milligrams. I took that when I got home, took a nap, and I cried a lot when I got home because I was very upset. I was upset because we got into that accident. I was upset because I thought I was going to die. I thought we was going to get into a major accident. I was upset because my husband did not listen to me. So with all that being said, it was a lot of like trauma. That was an added trauma to me. And it also added to me not feeling safe with my husband. And this is conversations that I have with my husband too. So it kind of brought me backwards instead of forward. And to this day, when he drives in the rain, I'm like looking at him like, don't play with me. Don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it, like seriously. So he understands that now, and he is very cautious, not only because it scared him too, but also because he knows that now this is going to be a trigger for me, right? So with that being said, that happened. I got into another accident before that in September where I was sitting at a stoplight and a girl literally crashed into me in the back. I had just bought the car 2 weeks ago. It's my new car. And had to go to therapy for that. And that set me back. I had a concussion, had to be out of work and doing content for over a month and a half to 2 months. So that set me back too. And that affected my mental health too, because I felt like I was really out here doing really good. And now look, I'm back at square one. You know what I'm saying? And hold on, I gotta take this call. All right, so I had to take that call. That was my husband. He gave me something to eat. So anyway, yeah. So with that being said, so many other things happened. We had to set strict boundaries with loved ones, which was really hard because we've let up on boundaries a lot, even though relationships with people that we love the dearest to us have literally been so toxic, so freaking toxic from the time that we've been together. Probably one of the reasons why we moved out of state in New York is because of that. So I'm not ready to speak about what occurred, but when I am, I'm pretty sure there's people out there that have dealt with it. But with that being said, that took a toll on us, and it really made us not really want to be around certain loved ones. And it wasn't like we are putting up a wall. We're not putting up a wall because we tried everything. We set boundaries. We told them what we don't like and what we don't approve of, especially when it comes to our kids and the way we do things. And still, it was not respected. We were disrespected, called out of our names, harassed, and even went as far as doing some really, really fucked up things that is truly unforgivable for many people. But because we have the Lord by our side, it's already forgiven, but certain people just are not allowed in our lives anymore because we do not believe in being around people, even though they're family, just for the sake of family. And that's another thing that our culture pushes, is that family is above everything. You have to be loyal to family, even though family's not loyal to you, even though family is the one that hurts you the most, even though family is the reason why you have these horrible trauma. Because at the end of the day, they are still human. We still love them, we still pray for them, but we have to keep our distance, and we have to do what's best for us and our children, because we are breaking generational curses. We're not allowing disrespect. We're not allowing people to come into our kids' lives and cause triggers and trauma, screaming and yelling, hurting their feelings, talking down to them, hitting them. We're not allowing any of that at all. So, because we're not doing it as well. So, and I will say, in the beginning of our parenting, I did spank my kids. I didn't realize until I got older, and off of literally seeing that it did not help, that it wasn't okay. It wasn't okay because we could speak things out. So my kids are really great at expressing themselves, things that they like and dislike. And for some adults, especially our culture and the way we grew up, that's considered disrespectful. And like I had to explain to my family when we went to New York, is that it's not disrespectful so long as the delivery is okay. Sometimes you guys don't like to hear the message because of who it's coming from, but honest truth is that kids have feelings. Kids deserve respect just like adults. And if you want them to respect them, you have to be an example. And some of our family members are not the best example. So we have to keep our distance. And when the kids are older, if they want to deal with them, that's their prerogative. You know, like, I'm not speaking down to them, to the kids. The kids see what they see. And that's one thing that happens. Kids grow up. Kids end up remembering things, and kids start to see what things are for real. And once they start seeing it, they make their own decision. And one thing we don't do is force our children to be around family members if they make you uncomfortable, if they do not make you feel good, and if you don't want to be around them. And it's not being sensitive. This is not a sensitive culture. This is boundaries, peace, living your truth, and delegating deciding what's best for you. That's nothing sensitive about that. It's about having and receiving respect. And if you can't do that, then you don't deserve to be around people. And some people's energies are not equivalent to the energy you have. And if you're a light, and if somebody's always coming around dimming that light, or trying to dim that light, or bringing in horrible, negative, dark energy, you stay away from it, family or not. Like, So that's what we've been doing. It's been working for us. We are so much at peace in our household. We have great communication skills with our kids. And like I told my husband, I don't mind putting my kids in therapy, even though there's not something specifically going on in our household. If there's some things that my kids do not feel comfortable talking to me about, which is not really a lot, but I'm pretty sure there are, I want them to have an outlet where they can talk about it and to start working on any type of traumas that's happening as they are children, so that they can be a better adult. And I told them, therapy is literally something that's continuous. It's just like having your PCP. It's just like having a gynecologist, gastroenterologist. It's something that we all need to have, and we all need to go and get maintained. Whether it's monthly, quarterly, whatever. If you need it more, then you need it more. Whatever works for you, you do what works for you. And if that means you need medication, if that means you need to see your therapist twice a month or 3 times a month, then so be it. So be it. You do what's best for you, and you don't let nobody shame you to make you feel that it's not okay. Because it's okay. It's okay to heal. And the problem is that people don't want you to heal because they don't want to confront your traumas. And when people gaslight you, it's usually because they don't want to realize that they're part of the trauma. And that's not easy. That's not easy to receive. Like, I'm a part of the trauma. So I tell my kids that all the time. And my kids will check me. As long as it's respectful, I take it and I'll be like, you know what, you're right, and I apologize. I apologize to my kids more than I've ever been apologized to as a child, and that's crazy. I have spoken up finally about things that have happened to me in my life that is causing my anxiety, that's causing my depression, you know, because I haven't been diagnosed with it yet, but I've really felt in this year, I felt very depressed and hopeless at times, dealing with some of the trauma that I've dealt with when I was younger. And I finally opened up about a lot of that to my parents this summer, and we are still talking about it to this day and trying to figure out how to move forward with that. But that's something I'm not ready to discuss yet because it's just still something that I'm healing and going through. So so that's basically it. That's my update. Shit is still crazy. Stuff ain't sweet. Healing is not instantly, it's continuous. And when you realize that, you are on the road. You're on the road to healing and continuously being where you need to be in life. So that's my update on my mental health. And I love that you guys all came in and spoke about your stuff that you've been dealing with, things that have helped you and all that. So this is my update, and I hope that you guys take a lot of the stuff that I said and think about it from your perspective. And let's chat in the comments. And if you want to talk about anything else, we can talk about it. Let me know if you want to know more that I'm ready to discuss and in another video. So once again, thank you for watching. It's a different type of video, different type of energy, but at the end of the day, your girl is healing, thriving, and flourishing, and I'm going to glow differently because of it. So continue on your journey to healing, sis. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below, and see you in the next video.